All right, guys, Jackzer here. So I have tried Assetto Corsa EVO, and I'm pretty impressed, and I'm pretty disappointed. Naturally, that's okay. My expectations were a little bit high, to be honest, from the start. I wasn't sure what they were going to release at the start, so that's probably why. Yeah. So Assetto Corsa EVO has a lot going on in it. Firstly, the driving is pretty cool. It's classic like Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's really nice. The cars handle great. There's this connection to the road and this disconnection to the road that should be there. Like, speaking personally, you know what I mean? I really do like that. The way it feels, you take a Mazda around Brands Hatch, you can really get involved with the car. The car's balance, the car's weight, the way it, skips on the ground while braking. You can feel it, you can hear it. The driving mechanics are very impressive. So, credit to Kunos on that one. I guess, like everyone else is saying at the moment, it's very important to remind people that this is early access. Now, early access, I have a bit of a history with this, let's say. Now, I believe other games have come out with early access and have had success. So, for example, I used to play a game called Arma 2. It was a military simulator. Someone came along and decided, you know what if we make a mod for this game that has zombies? So you put zombies into one of the best military simulation software games in the world, and you ended up with something called Arma 2 DayZ mod. So the company that realized that this mod was amazing decided to make a game called DayZ Standalone, which was very successful. The issue was that it came out in early access and it was extremely buggy. I don't know if they'd done an early access before, but the hype was there. The hype had to be capitalized on, and they wanted to sell the game before the game was finished. Hence early access. So with early access, there has to be targets set, there has to be a roadmap, there has to be a clear roadmap, and there has to be constant developer status updates, status reports. There has to be constant new features. There has to be constant fixing of broken features. So, when I hear of early access, I shudder. Now, I did load into the game and it gives you a picture of the roadmap telling you that 1.0 release stable, like the actual finished game, is aimed to come out in fall of 2025. Now, if Kunos do stick to this, I'll be very impressed. I'm fairly sure they have a decent track history of early accessing kind of with games in the past. So there's no reason to think that won't be like that in the future. The only thing that gets me is the AI. I understand it's early access, but like, did someone like the AI department? I just picture like, someone at Kunos just going to the AI department and being like, "Hey, is your job ready? Like, is your stuff done? The AI and the cars and all that?" And they're like, "Yeah." They kind of drive off track for the first few laps, and then once cars get together, they're all right. They're pretty predictable, and then they stay in a line. Sometimes they bunch up bumper to bumper and stuff like that, and they'll try to take you out, but. Yeah, no, we should be good to go here. Like, seriously? Like, I'd be pretty embarrassed if that was my job, and then you put out AI that functions similar to AI did 16 years ago, like 17 years ago. Like, that's the way AI, no, even longer. Like, I haven't seen AI that bad in quite a while, especially with the limited tracks. I guess it's not on their priority list, but still, it's just very whatever, so it'll be nice to see the progress of AI getting better. Hopefully we won't need it for that long, because there's going to be a career mode and stuff, and that's kind of dependent on AI kind of being functional and not being frustrated to play with. But I think that's going to kind of come around. There are some weird stutters and graphical issues and optimizations that are needed. The game does look great, does really look great. There are some issues like, if you're running if you're running a 4K screen and you decide to run in 1440p, which is not the native resolution, you can take quite a frame rate hit. Whereas if you are running on a 4K screen and then you go onto Windows, right click your desktop and make 1440p the actual resolution of the display, you can gain FPS from that. And that's not a very obvious fix for people, so I really think that should be looked into. I've heard stuff about people saying they want a refund and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really mad about that. It is early access. I know what I'm getting into. I expect a broken game. I was hoping for a fully fleshed out game, but like, obviously that's not going to be the case. But, I wasn't expecting it to be too rough around the edges, but I guess they did really want to release it as an early access alpha. Get the testers out there, because people are essentially testers during a open early release, open access kind of thing like this. But the cars feel great. That's the main thing. What I've been saying to people, I guess my friends, is that like, you can have more fun in practice than you can in a race. You can have some fun in a race, but to be honest, you'll have much more fun in practice just trying to beat your own times, working against the delta, discovering the new tracks, mechanics, driving physics, all that kind of stuff. That's one of the cooler aspects of it. At the moment, that I can see. But that's kind of my first impressions of Assetto Corsa Evo. It's cool, looks great. Just needs more graphic optimization. Obviously needs more content, but that's gonna come in time. I really hope they're gonna stick to their deadline of fall of 2025. That'd be really cool if if all the stuff comes out, because they've listed it off. There's gonna be this coming out, that coming out, multiplayer's gonna come out, then free roam's gonna come out, and all this stuff should come out by fall of 2025. Obviously, it's quite general. They give themselves quite a lot of time, Q3 essentially. So that could be any time from, who knows, is that July? No, that's August up until bloody October. So we have all that time to kind of hope and pray that we are going to get a fully fleshed out game. But for now, get out there, get driving, help out the developers to flesh out the game. If you notice any bugs, do the bug reports, all that kind of thing. Post them online so the developers see them. I do have high hopes for the game still. My hopes aren't like squashed at all. Like this is where people are saying, "Oh, I'm going to refund the game." Not really going to do anything like that. That's a bit extreme, especially when they've set themselves such a near timeline of fall for 1.0 release. Because you have to remember that game I was saying, DayZ, for the Arma 2 game, that took years to come out when they set out a roadmap of about a year. It was ambitious, but they completely destroyed the roadmap, and they encountered different problems, and you could shoot people and bullets would go around people, and sometimes you'd click to shoot people and your gun wouldn't fire. That was like that for years. So I do have a bit of trauma with early access, but from what I've heard in the past, Kunos are meant to be pretty good with it. Guys, what do you think of it? Let me know down below. Like, what are your thoughts on the Assetto Corsa Evo at the moment? I'm very curious to see what my viewers' opinions are. I hope it'll be all good. Cruising around. I was driving in the Mazda, just clutch, manual, just driving, and I have to say, it does feel nice. It does. It could sound a touch better. The graphics are nice. The way the cars interact with the gravel, the grass, the roads, the bumps, the compressions. You can feel the compressions with the force feedback. It's done very, very well. So they should be proud of what they have now. It's just time to start getting some updates out, and I guess we need a bit of patience. We have to exercise a bit of patience while they have to exercise a bit of hard work in attaining the goal of 1.0 release by fall of 2025. So guys, if you enjoyed this little first impressions, I know I've been asked what it is, so it's worth making a little video on. Yeah, those are them. So I will probably upload a little race here and there as things start progressing, but iRacing is still the go-to for me when it comes to actual racing. But yeah, keep a close eye on Assetto Corsa Evo. I think it's going to be quite cool.